If you want more wins in FC24, you need the right formation along with the custom tactics and instructions. The 4-3-2-1 is one of the most meta formations this year, and we're going to get in some nice custom tactics to go along with it. If you want more content like this, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But yeah, let's get into it. Full disclosure, I've been using these custom tactics and this formation all week just to get used to it and just to make sure that it is definitely a good formation, and I can confirm it is. At the start, the first few games, I held a few L's, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the players were all over the place. It does take a few games to get used to the formation and where the players are gonna be positioned on the pitch. So if you take a few L's, don't worry. So we only actually used two of the game plans here, the defensive and the ultra defensive ones. They're basically exactly the same thing, except for the defensive one we use most of the time, it is quite attacking, the depth of the defense is high, and with the ultra defensive one we've just moved the defense depth back a little bit, so that's when we want to manage the game a bit more. But 99% of the time we use this defensive one. I'll show you it now. So just because it is under the defensive game plan does not mean this formation is defensive at all. So defensive style will be unbalanced. Width, we've got 45 just because we want to make it a little bit narrower in defense. Depth, we've got 65, so this is quite an aggressive formation. The defense will be relatively high up the field. Offense, we've got balanced build up play, we've got direct passing as the chance creation. I think that's my favorite. I've always used it and I really like it. Width, we've got 50 on the offense, so yeah, the team's gonna stay relatively wide as needs be really. Players in box, we've got 5. We want to commit but we don't want to overcommit, and it's the same principles for the corners and the free kicks. You can select a player, move them around and pick them out if you want to. I don't think you need to overcommit from corners or free kicks. So here is where the real magic happens, the instructions that are on the players. For the keeper, we've got comes to crosses and sweeper keeper. I don't know how much difference it makes, but it does make the keeper a tad bit more aggressive. Keepers this year, don't even talk to me about them, I've had enough of keepers. But the two centre backs, we leave them as they are. The right back, we've got on stay back while attacking and run type overlap. The left back, we've got on the exact same instructions, stay back while attacking and run type overlap. They're not going to get forward by themselves. You're going to need to trigger runs or 1-2s with them. You can do that by pressing L1 or LB on Xbox. So yeah, definitely use that to trigger runs with your left and right back if you want them to make a run, and usually their run will be an overlapping one. In the midfield, the left central midfielder, we've got stay back while attacking as the attacking support option and cover center as defensive position. That is super important. The one right next to him in the middle, Benassa in this instance, we've also got on stay back while attacking and cover center as well. So these two are basically going to stay in the middle, right in front of your defense. Sometimes they'll be slightly out of position, but most of the time they will be protecting your defense. The right central midfielder, this is a bit interesting. So support on cross, we've got get into box for cross. Defensive position, cover wing, that is super important because basically this player goes out to the right hand side. Moving on to the left forward, so this player is on comeback on defense and attacking runs getting behind. So when he goes forward we want him to get in behind, but he is going to come back on defense. So he sort of comes next to Loftus-Cheek on his left hand side. Ødegaard goes out to the right hand side, and it sort of creates a 4-4-2 in defense because Haaland, we've got on stay central, get in behind. Chiesa, we've got on stay central, get in behind. These two are basically going to act as two strikers with these instructions. So in defense, it's going to be a 4-4-2, and in attack, it's going to be more of a 4-3-2-1. But yeah, it did take me a while to get used to where the players are positioned. But once you do get used to it, it's a very good formation and very good custom tactics and instructions. If you're finding the video useful, please give it a quick like, it will help us out a lot. But we're going to get into some real in-game examples of how the formation works. So in this move, we get a turnover in the middle of the park. Gomez wins it back, passes out left. As you can see, it's sort of a 4-4-2 at the moment. That's from where we were defending. We get it through to Haaland. We've got 4 players running forward and Haaland gets a really good finish there. Again here we make the save and we're on the break. You can see the 4 attackers just racing forward. Here's Chiesa on the ball, he passes it infield to Haaland. Haaland's through and he's not going to make a mistake there. So here we're working it out from the back, some neat passing, and we get eventually to Ødegaard, who's actually the right central midfielder. He is on drift wide. The ball gets through to Haaland. We get a rebound here. Pires picks it up, and Ødegaard, his instruction is get into the box for a cross, and as you can see, he was racing to the 6-yard box to tap that one in. Again, here you see there are plenty of options in attack. Everyone is racing forward to try and support Chiesa, but we don't need them. So we get a turnover in the midfield, and we're going to work some passes. Chiesa gets on it. Ødegaard, you see the front four now, they're almost in the straight line, all racing forward to get into the box. Plenty of options. We don't use them in this occasion though. So here, the opponent is going to try and attack us, and you can see the defense in a flat back four with four right in front of them. That's what the instructions do. That's where the players are positioned defensively, and it makes it really hard for the opponent to break through. I'm going to put up some of the opponent's attacks and just show you how the defensive structure works some more. Having the four at the back and the four in front is so important. Just having numbers at the back is really important, especially this year. But I think it's a general principle in FIFA or FC. Just having a solid defensive unit. Four at the back, four in front, and it just makes defending a lot easier. I know a lot of players were finding defending hard this year, so it's really important to have the right formation with the right custom tactics and instructions. I would give it more than a few games just to get used to the formation. It did take me a while. I didn't want to release this video if I thought the formation was actually garbage, but I do think it's good, and it's quite a fun formation to use, very attacking. You just need to get used to where the players are. I think the most meta formations this year are the 4-3-2-1, the 4-2-3-1, and the 4-4-2. And what they all have in common is in defense, they're basically a 4-4-2, 4 defenders with 4 midfielders in front, and it's really important. You need to keep it compact at the back to avoid getting destroyed basically. But yeah, as I said, hope you find it useful. Give it a like if you did. I'm gonna leave a similar video down there. Make sure you watch that. It's been your boy Rumix. Take care.